Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Gerald. Hey, I put a video out earlier and I totally forgot to do something, and I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do that. But um, I stepped out of my place. I had a sweet tooth, so I went got me some ice cream, and lately I've just been fiending for some ice cream. So I went and got me some ice cream, and on my days off, I sit on YouTube sometimes and just see what's out there, see what people talk about. Um, First of all, I want to give a shout out to all the subscribers out there. My new subscribers, welcome. It was not by chance. I hope that, first of all, thank you for allowing me to convey the message to you. Another thing I wanted to send a shout out to another channel that I look at as well. It's very, very enlightening. Um, what's up, Dahudi? How you doing, man? I'm tracking what you and I were in sync on a lot of things. Um, but I did want to talk about something else. But before I get into it, I wanted to remember I told you guys a little bit about a week ago. I went and got some glasses, and the whole synchronicity, the reason why everything came about, and I ended up meeting the receptionist, and she told me her story and how I saw the synchronicity of why me losing the glasses I had. Well, actually, I didn't lose them. Somebody took them. But hey, I look at it like this. I'm gonna throw this disclaimer out too. If by chance you're in a position where there's something taken from you or is lost from you, do not trip on it. Do not. Do not put any negative energy out. Just accept it and think of it like this. Whoever has possessions, if it was purely meant, they may have needed it more than you. And in turn, you will be blessed. You will. Just keep that in mind. Someone needed it more than I did. And it was just directed to them. That's why sometimes, money, you lose money or whatever it may be, and like, man. But because we're spiritual beings, he always makes a way for us. And guess what? You end up getting better than what you had anyway. So look, do not hold on to the negative. Just put a spin on there, because everything that you're experiencing now, there's a divine reason for it. You're being awakened. So you guys might not realize it now, but you're actually in what we call the golden age. These are going to be the best years of your life, because you're being placed in the direction of your destiny, and your destiny is priceless. So please don't don't trip on that small stuff, because look, it's material. It's done by man's hands. So it's only going to be with so much foundation on that anyway. That's why when you look at it, when you buy something, it has a life expectancy or whatever. It only was to serve a purpose for that moment until it was to be replaced. So, not to ramble, I got these, and not only did they come a week earlier, but they told me 2 weeks. I got them in 6 days. And I said, well, you know what? I wanted something that when, I'm out and about and if I'm wearing my suits, conducting business, it goes with my face. Can't be looking busted. Can't. And I apologize for the scrubbiness. I am off, I'm not trying to get any bumps and stuff, so I'm trying to take care of myself. But I not only got these glasses, which are reading glasses, because I'm back in school. But more importantly, I wanted something that, it fit my face. So I was just kind of curious what y'all thought. These are my new reading glasses. So just to give you a snapshot, in 12 years, you'll be looking at Dr. Davis. I have me a nice little clipboard, probably a virtual board or whatever by that time. But I'll be there on the job. So I think I like them, but I would love to know what you guys think. So now, I try to make sure that I stay diligent on the things I say I'm going to do. Now, on a different note, so I was out trying to figure out what kind of ice cream I wanted. And I'm in Walmart, and I'm in the aisle, and I'm looking, and I try to be a smart shopper, so I went ahead and got that great value. I'm all about saving my money, because I'm trying to buy me a house, too. Yeah, I made a projection on that, too. But, so I ended up getting this ice cream, and then while I was in the ice cream, it dawned on me something. My spirit spoke to me, and I said, well, you know what? He said, I want you to talk about the sanctity of the yoke. I'm like, wow. So I went and checked out, got on my little ride, and rolled on back here to my place, and had my ice cream, and here I am. Okay. Now, you guys might not understand where you are now, but you probably got the concept. Have you noticed that with your relationships, your connections, both personal, public, you have experiences, highs and lows, and with interactions of the people you come in contact with. Now, have you noticed with your relationships that you may have gone through a period where you're getting to know people, and it either goes left or right? It can be built off of a physical means, which is very intense, or it can be built off of more of a communicational, but yet the intimacy doesn't come. But the end result is the dissolvement. It doesn't last. Sometimes the transition can be very daunting and unexpected. Sometimes it can be downright very scary because it's abrupt, like a ripping away. Well, as I was driving home, I was thinking about that. Like, well, what is the whole reason why we as human beings, spiritual beings first, have to go through the ritual of interacting with other people? Why do you have to go through the experience of, the dance, more or less, the whole meeting, interacting, the connection, and then the break off? And then I thought about it. It has to do with being yoked. Bottom line. See, if your higher power, which mine is my Lord Jesus Christ, if He did not love you, He would leave you right where you at. Therefore, you could never grow. But because, as you already know, the devil's work is never done, and the devil will always use whatever tactics that he needs to delay you from your destiny, which being is that one, the one that is going to walk with you along the journeys of life. Sometimes people get lucky, or I don't really want to say that. Sometimes divinely meant, depending on where that person is, you may meet your better half. But depending on where you are emotionally, being the fact of you have done what was needed to value or validate that union, depends on if you'll have a successful union. Here's what I'm getting at. Have you noticed that, think back to all your relationships. Just think back. I'm not talking about the one night stands, because the one night stands don't count. They don't. Actually, those are like little milestones they're like little markers on the highway. That's what it was. That's what a one night stand is. You just happen to stop. Or more or less an insight point. But they have no weight. Think about those connections that you had, that you forged. You can go all the way back, back to your teens. Go back. Go way back. Okay, you're there. Alright. Now, from the first connection that you had to the first serious relationship, look at the two of them and see if you have a common denominator between the two. I bet you 9 times out of 10, the person that you had your first relationship with, that first love, and that first serious relationship, they got a lot of likeness together. They have a lot of traits that are the same. Because that's where you were learning what your attractions were. So when you got into your first relationship, for the most part of where you were emotionally, that's what you based it off of. Now, think about all those relationships that you had that you thought were going to have longevity, but just as quick as you got in them, just as quick as they came out. And it was always a situation where something came to light. Something you did not know. Something had, like someone put a flashlight on, like, look, take note. You didn't know this, so I'm going to bring this to your attention. Now you waited. There was a reason for that. See, if you did not have those experiences, you couldn't properly gauge what you needed. You were still in training. You were still in training with learning who you were. You probably went through that period of, you weren't, for those who were sexually active, I guarantee you, between the first serious relationship to when you got in a committed relationship or married, you learned everything you needed to learn to keep a mate. You learned that part in the beginning. But it was not until you actually took the time to get to know who you were and worked on yourself for you to have the happiness that you wanted. I said that. I said want. No. Needed. You started to differentiate from what was practical and what you truly need within yourself, within your spirit, compared to what is buildable. See, I've come to understand that that's how the power of the yoke, being yoked, is all about. I mean, I'm not the first. I'm going to be the first one to tell you. I'm still a baby to the word, but however, I've been able to look in that Bible and read that and break it down, and it is clearly written. I mean, if you look at the Bible, it is your playbook for your life. If you just take the time just to look at it. I mean, I know the first time I started diving into the Bible, I was like, what? I was shocked. Because there was so much that was being illustrated. Or better yet, let me tell you, let me break it down. What I learned thus far, right off the bat, made me realize that the problems that we see and experience here in our current days of time existed back then, which exists all over the world. Only thing that separates you and that man that lives in Spain is tongue, the language. But they got problems just like we do. But guess what? We all got the same source too. Yeah. He's always been there. He's omnipresent. So, to get back to what I was saying, the reason why your relationships fail is because the yoke, God's grace, is protecting you so that you can be ready for the one. Yeah, that one that you dream about at night, that one that you envision, that is you're in his or her embrace. You gotta bear with me, y'all. My mouth is just not working right now. But you understand the gist. The person that is inside your heart, your better half. That's where that terminology comes from. Your better half. The two shall come one, which makes one flame. Two, one flame. Sounds like a twin flame thing all day. Because we're spiritual beings. But you can't be yoked until you master who you are. Accept your flaws. Because when you accept your flaws, that places a foundation and room to grow. And we're not going to be perfect, but we are required to be honest with ourselves. See, you can't expect to grow with anyone if you don't have no room to grow. So you must have a spiritual foundation. And I started thinking about it. I was like, wow, I look back at the relationships that I had, and now I'm a critical thinker, and which is kind of crazy to be a Pisces, because we as Pisces, we think out the box anyway. But I've more or less had to change some things up to have clarity for myself. So what I'm getting at to you is this. For those that may be pondering, when am I going to have the one? When will the one be revealed in my life? It will come as soon as you are honest with yourself and you are doing the work within. Because see, when you start to do the work, let me tell you the first thing going to happen. Your environment going to change. Because your perception is going to be totally changed. Which means there are going to be people that you were connected to that you're not. Because you don't have the same mindset. So you guys got nothing to talk about. But the beautiful thing about that is, if they value you, they're going to change for themselves first. They're going to do that. Some of you guys don't even realize that, but who's to say that the one is somebody that you have already met, that's in your past? You ever thought about that? I think some of y'all do. But the power of the yoke, you can't sway it. There's only one way to honor that, and that's right. That's why people end up, unfortunately, having divorces, because there's a shift in that relationship, and the truth comes out. And unfortunately, due to pride and ego. Now, if you're in a situation where it's destructive, you got to get up out of there anyway. I'm a firm believer. If you're in a relationship where it's verbally abusive, you just 5 steps ahead before it becomes physical, because they go hand in hand. They do. So, don't sleep on that. Never put yourself at risk. Be the better person by loving yourself. And if you got to get up out of there, you get up out of there. But it is important for you to do the work. You got to grow. I mean, ask yourself this. Have you looked yourself in the mirror and said, you know what? I just want to be a hermit. I just want to be that. My destiny is to grow up and be that old man that I know that's bitchy to everybody. Or that old woman that, she don't have no friends. And she just more or less shut herself up to the world. Because I'm going to tell you, those people are the reason why they do that, because they have not accepted who they are, for one. Number 2, they compromised their self-worth because they didn't believe in themselves to change. And number 3, they didn't see their value. So basically, they settled for a life they shouldn't even have, because they stopped loving themselves long ago. That's the reality of a choice like that. And that's a life not worth living, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't wish that on my worst. I don't have enemies because I don't get down like that. But if I had enemies, I wouldn't do that, because that's a slow death. It's a slow death. But to round this around, if you've ever wondered why, first of all, if you're getting into relationships just for the sake of getting into them, then number 1, I'm going to tell you something. You need to check that, because you have abandonment issues. That means there's something within you that feels that you have to validate yourself in the presence of someone else. And that's not healthy. That's no different than, I wanted to shut this down, but I got to put this out there. That's no different than, I had somebody real dear to me confide, when I was in the service, that she told me, she said, well, only time I feel my worth is when I sleep with a man. Now, at first, I kind of blew it off. And I'm like, okay, well, we were in our 20s. We used to do a lot of traveling all the time, And it seems like when we went to the bar, she went to the bar. But she always left with a different dude. And we spent almost 10, 11 months on the road sometimes. So I already saw a pattern in that, and I was like, whoa. I mean, yes, it's your business, but still, you're my teammate, and I gotta make sure you're governing yourself. You gotta put that big brother, put that wing out there, so to speak. But I remember one time we were in Japan, and I happened to be in the bathroom, and I heard these 2 contractors talking about this girl and what they were going to do to her. They got her liquored up, and they was going to have their way. And I came out that bathroom, and I'm like, wow, I felt sorry for, man, and kind of found out it's my teammate. I'm like, what? So I immediately scooped her up, the old fireman carry. I mean, literally, over the shoulder, walked out the club, caught me a cab, and we went back to the base. And she was kicking and screaming, like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do? And I was like, are you stupid? Do you have a death wish? But see, I realized God had placed me in the right place at the right time to intercept what was being planned. There you go, serendipity. But I got her home. I got her to the hotel, and I got her straight. And then we sat up on the foot of her bed, and she was like, I realized, I just got this thing where I just don't feel love. I said, what are you talking about? We got your back. She said, no, it's just, if I don't have sex with a man, I feel worthless. And my heart literally fell. Because I had never heard someone talk so down about themselves. And then it just kind of made me think, like, man, for real? So you're going to give up your precious gift to someone unworthy? Why don't you just go ahead and just walk off a cliff? Because you're setting yourself up for HIV and God knows anything that you don't need. You gotta bear with me, y'all, because thinking about it, that just struck a chord. Because it's like, there's a lot of I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. I'm just tired of seeing women play themselves like that, or put themselves in situations that they don't deserve, because for some reason somebody convinced you wasn't worthy of love. That's kind of like putting a bullet in a gun with the person shoot you, and that ain't cool. So what I'm saying is, to anyone that's going through depression or a self-loathing emotional trigger right now, or you just feel that you can't get it together, let me tell you something. God loves you so much. He does. If he didn't, you wouldn't be watching this now. I'm here to tell you this. You are worth it. You are placed on this planet for a special reason. You might not can see it now. And maybe not now it's supposed for you to see it. But I can tell you this. In the future, it'll validate it. You need to love yourself. Never let anyone take your power away that you feel that you're not worth being loved. You love yourself. And I can throw a spin on this. You just look at it this way. If you don't have anyone in your life right now, don't trip. Just look at it like this. The person that's supposed to be in your life is being made new as well. And no one else currently is supposed to have access, because you are deemed very special. So no one can just actually have you like that. Think of your life as you are that VIP. Not anyone can have access to you. So, my kings, my queens, when you're feeling low, call on him. Ask him to give you strength. You've got angels around you, just as well as spirit guides around you. Ask for help. Just take one day. Just make this the day that you can just start to lift your head up. This is going to be a beautiful summer, y'all. Beautiful summer. And to my queens, Mama, if no one tells you this, you are beautiful. You are loved. And guess what? The man that's going to change your name, you'll see him when you should. But he has to do the work, and so do you. Because he's got to fit your standards, and you his. And the only way that can be done is you must do the work for yourself. Be the person that you would want to be, but from a kind, sincere heart. Because you'll never get what you desire if it's motivated by ego, pride, or vindictiveness. All you get out of that is delay after delay and failed expectations. And you deserve so much better. Well, look, I done ran my mouth. But anyway, I got my glasses. I would love to know how you guys feel. Hey, we are in the summer now, summer 2013. You're supposed to really make it happen. But listen, like I said, devil's work is never done. So he's going to be bringing situations and events, and he's going to be bringing temptation to you to catch you off guard. So look, govern yourself, respect yourself, and always put God first in everything you do. You know he's praying for you. You know I am. You gotta stay blessed, okay? All right, guys. Good night.